Hi everyone, just another update. This is Friday and things are moving pretty fast with the political situation in the US. It's no surprise to anybody, I guess, that that Trump is lashing out at Biden. He's had a press conference, and as is typical at the moment, the mass media cut off the feed after 1 minute of his speech. It really is now open war between Trump and the mass media and big tech and all the other people who are basically obstructing his message. I mean, this is the most blatant attempt at muzzling a president I think has ever occurred. Probably the most blatant attempt in a democracy of muzzling any leader, I would say. This is unbelievable. We know dodgy things are happening with the count. Apparently, Trump is coming back on one seat. They're doing the counting and he's added an extra 10,000 votes. They didn't say which seat it was in the headline, so I can't give you any other information on that. I'm getting a lot of my information through Steve Bannon's War Room site, which is very informative. But look, really, the purpose of this particular video is to just basically pay out on the media in general, because they are acting like spoiled brats. If you say anything against them, they'll just basically cut the message. They'll either put a headline up saying that Trump in effect is a loudmouth arsehole, which is what the tone of these headlines are. It's very rare you'll get any positive messages about Trump from the media. There's no doubt they're running an agenda, that they are basically activists for the Democrats. What's most interesting and surprising and a bit distressing is that Fox News has decided to join the campaign with the rest of the mass media to put the boot into Donald Trump. This first occurred actually on election night, when they were very quick to add states to the tally, like New York and California, pretty well instantly after the polls opened by the looks of things. But it took forever to get Florida added, even though it was patently obvious that Trump was kicking ass big time. And the thing they don't like too is that Trump is picking up a much bigger percentage of the black and Hispanic voters than before. So on politically correct grounds, they can't attack him. So that frustrates the crap out of them. But it's just been a disinformation campaign run by the mass media. It's blatant what they're doing. I think Trump, if he gets through all this, and I think he's a bit of a fighter, he is quite capable of winning this battle either through the courts or just muscling the recalcitrant states that just aren't counting the vote. What's actually happened? I mean, it's just absolutely astounding that miraculously the states, the crucial swing states that Trump was ahead in, a number of them, they basically stopped counting at around the late hours on election night. Now, apparently that's unusual because other states, much bigger states, again, New York and California, Texas, they were able to get their count completed, totally completed without a problem. But these other states deliberately appear to have hung the vote at around the 90% mark in some cases, very close to the end of the votes, although that again has been quite fluid because, funnily enough, other votes have been found. Yeah, I know, it stinks to high heaven. But in these key swing vote states, about 5 of them, which were crucial for Trump getting over the line, they froze the voting procedure, and so the media shut down and they really went to bed. And then we find out that they resumed voting and found all these votes, in some cases 100% for Biden, which is ludicrous in a democracy. You're just not going to get that. You get it in banana republics, you get it in third world countries, you get it in places like North Korea. Is this where the USA is heading towards? a situation where democracy is basically being shredded because the Democrats are so hell-bent on winning this election. There's talk that Soros money has been pumped into the campaign in the billions. I know that apparently the Trump ran out of money. He didn't have enough finances to continue on with advertising. So it's bled his campaign dry of funds. And he is against some very heavy hitters. Like I say, big tech, especially Twitter. I mean, Osama bin Dorsey, who's the head of Twitter, Jack Dorsey's his real name, but he looks like Osama bin Laden the way he's dressed, which is quite appropriate because he's acting like a terrorist. He's a terrorist against free speech. I mean, I think that Trump made a huge mistake by not switching his messaging from Twitter to Gab, for instance, which is a free speech Twitter type site. That would have been a smart move because what it would have done is undermined the business model of Twitter. It would have sent a lot of people away from that site, and the media would have also had to have gone to Gab and would have boosted their resources. So, this is an example that Trump is a great fighter and what have you, but he's not 100% au fait with all the nuances with big tech. That's where his brother, sorry, not his brother, his son, Don Jr. is much better versed in that area. And he'll probably become a candidate himself. They're talking if Trump can't get over the line in this particular crisis, that he may run again in 2024. I don't see that, but I do see that he may support one of his kids running, which would be Don Jr. be the obvious one. Like the other dynasties that have taken place, they've got the foot in the door, they've got the name recognition, especially with Republicans, and Don Jr. has helped him out at rallies. So I think he's getting a presence that will set him in good stead, and he's been in business as opposed to politics. And that's the thing about, I mean, this thing with Biden, it's just a joke. The guy's been in politics for 45 years and achieved nothing. You've had Trump in for 4 years, and he's had major policy wins in areas like the Middle East, and he was doing okay in North Korea up until recently, but I don't know if that's going anywhere now because North Korea and China have cemented relations with one another because China's desperate to have any friends in this world at the moment because they've alienated so many people in the West. But Donald Trump has done brilliant work, especially in the Middle East. He's getting recognition for Israel from a number of countries, which has never happened before, and he deserves kudos for that. We haven't had wars. He's actually been a pretty peaceful president because he wants to make money. He's a business guy. But the press don't care. They don't care. They want someone that's going to be aligned with their political correct BS, and seeing nearly all journalists now are clones that are sent out from universities, and you now got groupthink. We're in a very dangerous situation right now. We need someone like Trump in control. He is so crucial to making reforms to the basic entrenched interests that have been running the show. If you want more basic hack politicians, well, you get the Bidens, you'll get clones of Bidens. If that's what you really want. Well, I think a lot of people don't want that. I certainly don't want that. I love the fact that Trump wasn't a career politician, that he'd been in business. And I think it shows because he's had a lot of wins as far as the economy's concerned. And he's been a pragmatist, and he's also put China in its place. And there's a lot of doubts over what Biden's going to do with China if he gets into power. He won't be around that long because then we'll have Kamala Harris, and it's going to be an absolute disaster. But Biden himself can cause enough strife. The other thing that's really fishy about all this, of course, is people point out that if Trump's doing so badly in these votes, well, how come that the Republicans are making up seats in the House of Representatives and holding their own in the Senate? That doesn't make any sense. They're doing much better than was predicted. The pundits were absolutely out of touch. The opinion polls, these people are going to be on Skid Row looking for work because they are a joke. They've been totally discredited. The media is getting totally discredited. Sections of big tech are getting discredited. I think actually Google's playing it pretty smart. They've kept a fairly low profile, but Jack Dorsey is really taking the heat, and I think his days might be numbered, especially if Trump gets back in power. I think Trump has learnt a lesson through all this. If he survives this, I think he's going to come back and he's going to be swinging. He's swinging those fists. He's going to not take any prisoners. He's going to come out fighting. And it's about bloody time, because he and a lot of Republicans have been way too passive on a lot of these things. Holding these pathetic inquiries into big tech isn't enough, especially if you don't have people who know what they're talking about questioning these guys. You want your Ted Cruz's doing it, but you want them to back it up with action, not just fact-finding. Take action after this has occurred. And it's got to be done, because the media, big tech, have basically got a stranglehold on information. I was actually talking to a friend yesterday about the Biden corruption with Hunter Biden and the dodgy deals. They put him on the board of this gas company in Ukraine, and he didn't know anything about it. He obviously just gets all his information from the mass media, and it was all news to him. So a lot of people just aren't even getting this message. And if they had got the message, there's no way Biden would even be in contention right now. The whole thing stinks to high heaven, as I keep saying, and this legal action that the Republicans are pushing forward with at the moment is essential. This is another fact that I found astounding, that in certain states, you're not even allowed to have Republicans witnessing the vote as it's taking place. In Australia, I know that you can have scrutineers from any party standing around making sure that the vote is legit. It's basic stuff, but it isn't happening in the US. Their system is broken. They are the most powerful, influential country in the world, and this is not good enough. They need major reform to their electoral system to make sure that it is accountable and it can be scrutinised correctly. This is a disgrace. They should be ashamed. They should be hanging their heads in shame, allowing a system to be this corrupted. This is the stuff you would expect from places like North Korea, not the bastion of democracy and freedom. They've got a great constitution there, but they just don't seem to be following through with a lot of the procedures. They've got to have a uniform electoral system with proper scrutiny and oversight. It is essential for a democracy, especially when you have such a corrupted media and you have big tech trying to put you down at all points. Look, I mean, it's amazing that Trump's still around. He is a fighter, he's a tough guy, and God knows we need him. In my opinion, he's a political hero. He's prepared to stand against this torrent of BS and kick back. And so few politicians on the world stage are prepared to do that these days. He really is unique, and he's a treasure to anybody who actually cherishes freedom, libertarianism. We really need Trump to come back and push major reforms, because we can't allow the deep state, the swamp, to basically drown us all, because that's what's happening. We won't have any say in the future if this continues on. In Australia, things aren't quite as bad, but they're a lot better actually. But America is a leader on the world stage, and we need them to have a strong, robust democracy. And it does worry me that there are real forces working against it. So that's basically it. I am disgusted by the media. That's the main theme of this particular video. I'm sorry if I'm reiterating a bit of information, but the only update I've got is that there is some good news. 10,000 extra votes, even reported by the Murdoch press, which seems to have basically given up on supporting Trump, which is really, really disgusting. And I'm wondering how someone like Tucker Carlson's going to survive at the network. He may have to pull up stumps, because I just don't see how he can keep working there if they're going to continue on down this road. And I think Tucker's has got too much credibility to hang around there. I think this could really cause problems for Fox News. I hope it does. They deserve a kick in the arse. They've been abysmal during this particular time. Really shown their true colours. You cannot trust the media. The mass media sucks, and thank God for outlets like YouTube and Bitchute that provide access for alternate opinions. Anyway, that's enough of a rave for today. Again, please give me thumbs up, thumbs down. Comments. I got a lot of comments on the previous video, so I really appreciate that, and some really encouraging comments and supportive comments. I'm not the only person that's pissed off about all this. There's a lot of us out there, and it's great to hear from you. And please try think about subscribing and even throwing in a few cents here and there if you're feeling generous, so I can at least pay off my the amount I pay to Bitchute each month, which is only $10, but a US, so it's about $14 Australian. It's not much, and I'm quite happy to keep doing it as long as I'm able to upload the videos. I had problems uploading; it was really frustrating, but that seems to have been overcome. So I'll continue on with Bitchute, and I'm picking up subscribers every day there, so it's going quite well actually, from a very low base, but at least it's encouraging. So thanks to the people who have subscribed on Bitchute as well. I want to thank you. I get most of my subscribers at the moment from YouTube. I've got about 612, and I've only got about 26, I think, on the main channel on Bitchute. So there's quite a bit of work to be done. But if I keep posting videos, you never know. Anyway, look, have a great day. The weather here again is superb. Sorry to rub your noses in Melbourne if you're having rainy weather or whatever, but at least you're getting those ludicrous lockdown restrictions are starting to be eased. Thank God for that, and enjoy your newfound freedom, and fight to retain it from now on. So those are my parting words. I'll catch you again tomorrow if I've got the energy.